Hello, I'm Feng Rongxin, one of the team members of the lighting reproduction project. This video paper will focus on the lighting reproduction and analysis of a key scene in the movie Blade Runner 2049. Our group consisted of 3 members: Xiangyu Lu, who was responsible for writing the video script and researching the data; Feng Rongxin, or me, who was responsible for equipment selection and on-set filming; and Shi Ruiyuan, who was responsible for post-production editing and audio-visual synthesis. The 3 of us collaborated to complete the scene setup and lighting construction, and jointly promoted the completion of the project. We chose Blade Runner 2049 as a replica based on the following 3 considerations. The first is that the lighting aesthetics of this film is highly stylized, with distinctive director's labors for color, light, and shadow. The second is that the scene uses lighting to build a strong sense of oppression and memory atmosphere, which is very worth analyzing and learning. In addition, based on the school's equipment and the difficulty of building a realistic scene, this scene replica is also very suitable for us to practice and improve our self-competence. In the psychological changes of the characters and advancement of the story, lighting plays a unique role as a hidden narrative tool, which is of great reference value to film and television learners. First of all, let's analyze the lighting composition of the upcoming scene. This scene is mainly hard light. The overall use of a high-contrast, low-fill light way of lighting, showing the following characteristics. In the color, yellow tone light covers the whole picture, building a dry, isolated, post-apocalyptic atmosphere. In terms of light ratio, the character's face is in deep shadow, while the background is highly illuminated, which strongly strengthens the tension between the environment and the character. Meanwhile, observing the contour of the characters and the degree of contrast between light and darkness in the movie. Through the strong contrast of side backlighting on both sides, the structure of the characters' bodies is clearly outlined, presenting a silhouette-like sculpture texture. In this scene, the background of the screen is dark. Especially the top left and right sides of the screen have been dealt with dark corners. The upper right side of the character's face is brighter, while the rest of the darker, showing the effect of side backlighting. It is not difficult to deduce the location of the main and auxiliary light sources. At the beginning, we only consider the main light source, auxiliary light source, 2 lamps, located in the left and the right side of the screen. First of all, the choice of the main light source. In the right side of the scene, we chose the ARRI 650 Plus as the main light source. The location is located in the right rear diagonal upward corner of the scene, in order to create a strong side backlight. The high power output of the ARRI fixtures and their hard light characteristic help to strengthen the shadows of the characters and create a cold, highlight edge. To avoid overly sharp shadows, we placed a layer of sulfate paper in front of the fixture to soften the light and create a more layered shadow effect. The silhouette light on the bed right side of the figure is a cine-red LED light, which is used to outline the figure's head and highlight the hair. At the same time, because the main light source itself is warm, so in the LED light color adjustment, although the color of the light is yellow, but in the RGB adjustment on the red, it's appropriately put down. And according on the scene, blue is appropriately put up, so as to achieve the overall balance of the picture hue. In order to prevent the LED light from spreading too widely, we adopt a vertical placement of lamps and use dark cardboard to surround, effectively controlling the direction of the light, so that it focuses on the area above the characters, highlighting the level of light ratio. But at that time, we found that compared to the original movie scene, seems not quite the same. So we made a careful comparison again. And here it is. In the scene, the background of the main character's chest is bright, which means that there is light here. But we also need a lamp to fill in the light, and it should be low enough to be placed on the ground and at a distance from the wall, so that the light reflects off the wall and illuminates the actors. So another scenario LED was set behind the person and directed towards the wall to fill in the light, with the intention of creating a subtle background hollow by reflecting off the wall, thus visually picking the person out of the background and enhancing the sense of spatial hierarchy. In the final stage of shooting, we also encountered some small problems. Our LED lights had already adjusted the yellow saturation to a very high value, but in the camera it was still white and cyan, so we adjusted the white balance in the camera and readjusted the camera parameters. Now the in-camera image seems to be quite a bit more finished, but now a new problem has been identified. The light diffusion still seems to be very large, and since the overall environment was too dark, we couldn't adjust the ISO too high in order to prevent noise, so we chose to turn up the aperture. For the background light, due to the limitations of tools and equipment, we used the black back of the lamp to cover the left side of the LED, narrowing the range of light, and at the same time, due to the overall environment after the lightning is on the bright side, we used the black flag through the continuous adjustment of the angle of the black flag. We knocked out a more suitable position, but used it to the left side of the character's face sector for the second darkening. Finally, we will set the camera parameters to the shutter 1/80th, aperture f/5.6. Finally get our reproduction photos. Shooting, we especially find the high roughness and color white wall. On the one hand, the white wall is conducive to the projection of orange light and try to restore the color of the light. On the other hand, with a certain degree of roughness of the stone will not overly strengthen the light reflection and lead to the overall scene bright. Character modeling selection of low reflective texture of clothing, conducive to lighting control, but also more appropriate to the character's isolate stated. During the reproduction process, we also encountered many technical and special challenges. Due to the limited availability of professional film equipment, we had to rely on relatively small lighting fixtures, such as Airy and Cineroute, to achieve similar effects through clever lighting and adjustment of auxiliary materials. Small place. The shooting space limited the maneuverability of depth of field and composition, and it was not possible to fully replicate the far-floor compositions with great depths of field in the movie. Controlling light spill. The light boundary of the LED lights in particular is not clear, and we only found the ideal shading angle through many tests. At the same time, it's a pity that we didn't use a water tank for the water projection of the wall. I think the picture would be richer if we had it. This reproduction is not only a hands-on training of lighting technology, but also an in-depth study of the language of film. We realized that lighting is not only to illuminate the characters, but also the core language of visual narrative. We learned how to control the light and shadow finely through manual masking, softening, reflecting, and blah blah, and their limited resources. Most importantly, we understood the systematic nature of image creation and the importance of teamwork. Thanks for watching our group's lighting analysis video of the Blade Runner of 2049. We hope that our presentation can let you see the emotional power behind the light and shadow, and we welcome communication and feedback. Thank you.